Welcome to ThinkTech on OC16, Hawaii's weekly newscast on things that matter to tech and to Hawaii. I'm Elise Anderson.
And I'm Anu Hittle.
In our show this time, we'll visit the Unconferenz Tech Conference, recently held at the Neil Blaisdell Exhibition Center.
There were some very interesting talks and breakout sessions, as well as an Ignite session featuring a number of exciting speakers.
Unconferenz is Hawaii's longest-running grassroots technology gathering. Utilizing an open grid format, the conference is attendee-driven, leading to a more energetic and engaged event.
This year, the Unconferenz was held in conjunction with Open Data Day and Code Across America. There were a number of sponsors.
Unconferenz is a one-day program built by the people for the people. It's an informal conference where everyone is encouraged to participate, and the sessions and schedule are determined by the participants themselves.
The mantra of Unconferenz is to create, collaborate, and catalyze. It's a grassroots tech and internet gathering of kids of all ages that come together to share, interact, and spark change.
The objectives of Unconferenz are to be a catalyst for original thinking, to create an environment for sharing, to provide support for people and innovation, to stimulate networking, and, most important, to start a movement.
The Unconferenz takes on a new flavor every year. Since topics are participant-driven, every Unconferenz is always different. An interesting mix of new tech, current interests and leading trends, and each Unconferenz is a unique snapshot of the community.
The format is open grid, participant-driven, with Ignite, STEM, and Internet plus Tech 50-minute sessions. There are no talking heads like us. Unconferenz is democratic in the fullest sense, and it's therefore what the participants make of it.
In the individual sessions, all participants are encouraged to present or facilitate a session or contribute to the discussion. Everyone is asked to share information of the event on the internet, including social media and shared documents.
The sessions are intended to brainstorm new ideas and also to encourage participants to explore new ways to convert those ideas into actionable items. Every session has a link to a collaborative note-taking area, so it can be shared with everyone.
As so selected, there were sessions on speed networking, coding, jobs, broadband, software for youth, open data, data interpretation, alternative transportation, STEAM and STEM, building apps, GitHub, a hackathon, tech in non-tech sectors, social media, tech for politics, food sustainability, and of course, drones, to name a few.
While all these sessions were going on, we took the opportunity to speak with a number of the participants at Unconferenz. They were all interested and fully engaged in Unconferenz, and for that matter, in the community and the greater good.
I got asked to come. It was a request I think that they made to the Polynesian Voyaging Society, and honestly, like up until like a week ago, I didn't know what I was in for. And then when I started blocking the week and looking at what was coming up this week, and then I looked it up and I'm like, I only get 5 minutes and I got to do 20 slides. And like up until yesterday, and actually today, I'm really nervous about it. I think that the story of the voyage actually really applies here, and it's like the ultimate hack.
I'm a software developer. I help run the Pi Hawaii organization here on the island. It's a user group for Python developers and people that want to learn Python development. I'm also in the Navy, so.
Why did I know that? It had nothing to do with
No, definitely not.
No,
I'm sure it wasn't.
So we just met just now in one of those breakout sessions here in Unconferenz. So what was that all about?
So this was about how we as citizens can be more engaged as in the political process, whether it's at the national level or at the state level. And I think that we were able to really focus on kind of the lower level, like the local, political entities that we kind of have to focus on.
Robbie, you're one of the sponsors here today.
Yes.
You like this program Unconferenz, eh?
It's fantastic. I love it because the audience chooses what the discussion topics are and everybody participates. It's probably one of the largest Unconferenz we've had in Hawaii with over 200 people.
What breakout sessions have you been to?
So we did one on the 80,000 jobs. How do we create 80,000 jobs in Hawaii, which was a really interesting discussion about what keeps us from creating jobs. And then the other thing we talked about in one of the other sessions was how do you get the tech sector to connect with non-traditional tech?
What's going on today is a gathering of the minds of people who are like-minded, who are interested in the same topics. who are also experts in their fields. So, it really is a mind pull of people coming together to solve some of the problems that we have.
So what ends up happening is I get to meet people like Genesis with TEDx Oahu, Honolulu, and she is a prime connector of the demographic of people that I'm really interested in knowing.
I feel like we're all moving very quickly, but individually. So community really means a gathering and helping to share resources, taking resources. I think it's building that bond of community once again.
Yeah, we're participating in Unconferenz, right? We're one of the title sponsors for it, and it's something that we believe in, giving back to the community, opening it up for discussion, and having our civic responsibility in some of these topics that are going on.
What breakouts did you go to?
Well, we actually had one here where we had our DevLeague graduates present their bike. It's called Ride Hawaii. Yeah. So we have so you know what we do at DevLeague, right?
Yeah,
we teach people to code in 12 weeks, right? And so our
Change
graduates,
their lives,
yeah, we transform lives, right?
So Ryan, I've talked to a number of people already today, and they tell me this is the best one ever. What do you think?
I definitely think it is. It's our 9th year, but we try something different every year. And I think this year, both from the sponsors and the support of the city government to the location that we had that was very convenient and the number of people that could attend because it was sponsored, because it was free this year for the first time, the diversity of people and the size of the crowd is better than ever. It's not just technology, and because it's so open, I've been meeting people who are actually maybe even a little uncomfortable with technology, maybe even new to it and curious about it. And although that's always been kind of part of the Unconferenz, I think here when you bring together the technologists and the tech fans and the geeks and the programmers and the coders, as well as the curious grandmothers, the business owners, the random members of the community that just want to see what's going on, some really amazing things can happen.
Then we watched the Ignite session, the last event of the day and the most fast-moving session of all. Forest Frizzell is the IT director for Hawaii Gas. He was the Business Innovation Officer for the State Office of Information and Management Technology and the Deputy IT Director for the city.
About 1 year ago, I started a journey to connect myself back to Hawaii, both spiritually and culturally. That path led me to seek out somebody that could help me carve my own papakui'ai. I chose this piece of wood because I thought it looked like a surfboard. And almost exactly 1 year ago on March 6th, I started the process of carving. I'd never done woodworking before, but I had this feeling of being guided. And I felt like a friend of mine who had passed about 10 years earlier, whose name was Liloa, was with me through this process. And this bird came every day to watch me. The process took about 3 weeks, and through that time, I had these amazing conversations about the power of kalo as a food, the genius of the ahupua'a system, and the tragedy that 85% of our food comes in on a barge.
Matt Lynch is the Systems Sustainability Coordinator for the 10 UH campuses. He is also founder of the nonprofit Asia Pacific Center for Regenerative Design.
So we are in times of rapidly escalating, potentially runaway climate change effects now. So the question is, how do we catalyze transformational change in our institutions to rise to these challenges? Most of the technical solutions to the challenges that we face exist, but it's a social friction of our institutions, of these types of institutions. Anybody recognize this? Anybody participate in this type of a command control operating system? Very good at scale efficiency, very good at consistencies. If you're on the lower rungs, not so good at creating conditions for ideas to emerge, arise, be built upon, and implemented. Adaptive operating system, who participates in one of these? Yes, no? Everybody does. Interesting, we participate in both of these. The rapid rise of networks and the ability to foster collaboration, we each have a tangible experience of this now in the modern day and age. This is the new frontier in human operating systems, the way that we organize ourselves as humans, the dual operating system, the strategic integration between the adaptive and the hierarchical is what is necessary if we're to respond.
Lauren Primiano heads venture activity for Embloom, a seed stage venture fund based in Hawaii. She is active in developing Hawaii's startup ecosystem, known as Startup Paradise.
So what is Startup Paradise? For those of you who don't know, in a nutshell, it is the identity that encapsulates the innovative high-growth business community that's been growing in our state. Why am I qualified to talk about this? I manage a venture capital fund that invests equity in these innovative high-growth businesses in Hawaii. So I have the fine privilege of getting to see quite a bit that goes on in our community. And a lot it is that's been happening. Recent reports from the Hawaii Business Roundtable, Oahu's Economic Development Board, and a lot of smart economists from the UH point to the nearly 10% of our state's jobs stemming from the innovation economy, and this number is growing. So building a startup paradise requires a lot of things, primarily infrastructure, workforce, and capital. But this isn't a unique formula to Hawaii. So what is the secret sauce? The number one key ingredient, in my opinion, is delusion. Why is this the number one ingredient? Well, simply put, building a startup paradise is hard. It's not easy. If it were easy, we wouldn't be here talking about it today.
McKay Davis is the delivery lead for the Code for Hawaii Brigade and a full-time entrepreneur. He is a programmer with over 20 years of industry experience.
Everybody here is working together and tackling these problems that we're identifying. Progress is slow, but we are making progress. And so that's what I'm here to show, is that we have a progress record. We have a track history. Some of you are new in this room. It's like, what is Code for Hawaii? I've never heard of Code for Hawaii before. What have they done? So let's kind of go look a little bit into the past here. Most of these photos are mine. That one, of course, is not. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. A little redundant here, but we need to really kind of look at what our failures are. I don't think that people look back and say, what failed? Let's go back and look at City Camp. The history of Code for Hawaii kind of really starts with Forest and Burt. You can see them bookended here. At City Camp, it was a series of basically kind of hackathons just like this, probably even more integrated. I think there was 130 people at the first City Camp. And there's the mayor. And so we had Code for America come out. We had some fellows stay with the city. How long were they there? I think a couple months. 1 year, a whole year, okay. And there was 4 apps that came out of that. Now, out of these 4 apps, I think Adopt a Siren is the only one still living.
Kathy Higa was a successful tech entrepreneur on the mainland who returned to Hawaii only a few years ago. She is a returning prodigal daughter and a groupie for Burt Lum, the founder of Unconferenz. She is now a staffer in the office of State Senator Sam Sloan.
As Jay well knows, I can never say anything in 5 minutes. But one of the reasons I come here every year as often as I can is because it's another place for watching new ideas, great ideas from so many young people come to light. Because this is where I spend most of my days. And although it's called one of the nation's most open capitals, sometimes we could probably use just a little more transparency. So I'm here to talk about something I call intrapreneuring. And that's a project that was started, the Hawaii Open Budget, to shed a little light. And hopefully one day, our open government, the one that McKay was talking about, will look a little more like that. So let's talk a little bit about budgets for humans. The way that looks for you and me is, you figure out how much you're going to spend for rent, for food, for gas, student loans, that kind of thing, and you figure out how much it's going to take. And then you figure out step 2, how are you going to finance that? Do you have a pile of cash? Boy, don't I wish. Or are you going to take out loans, credit cards, or that's my favorite down there, maybe look for a new job. I'll work for lattes too. And at the end of the day, if you can't make ends meet, we got to do the budget cuts.
Na'alehu Anthony is a native Hawaiian from Ka'a'awa and founder of Paliku documentary films. His other great passion is being a part of the voyaging community. He is the CEO of OEV Television Network on Oceanic Cable.
How it is that the voyaging canoe became the ultimate hack. Okay? 2,000 years ago, using only Stone Age tools, the people who wanted to come here had to build something called a voyaging canoe and travel 2,000 miles of open ocean with no metal and with only the natural resources that they had available to them. That perspective allowed them to build what we now call a voyaging canoe. It required people who were artisans. It required people who had the ability to come together as a community, to specialize in tasks, and take whatever they had available to them and build something very, very specific. But it also required someone to take that canoe and be the eyes of the canoe, the navigator. This is a picture of Maupiti Island, the first navigator to bring navigation back to Hawaii in many hundreds of years, and that's the canoe he used, the Virgin Canoe Hokulea. She was built in 1975. She became a catalyst for change.
Lindsey Wilbur is a political science student at UH and a researcher at the Center for Future Studies and the Institute for the Future.
What happens is, it's unseen, but the brain actually hits the inside of the skull. So helmets do not protect the brain whatsoever. It's actually the damage done within, since it's floating in water. And although I didn't know what it was called for my entire life, neither did my dad, now we call it chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which means repetitive brain injuries, similar to the disease dementia pugilistica, which is what boxers get. Pugilistica means.
Jerry Isdale is a software engineer turned generalist maker. He is the founder of Maui Makers.
I'm going to talk to you about STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, agriculture, math, and mathematics. Most people don't add those other couple of letters to it and often just call it STEAM. And this is my 40-year career on the edge of art and technology. My journey started off as a classic engineering student, and I dropped out of a nice Ivy League school, went down and found a nice little podunk university that actually taught me computer engineering, the Unix operating system, computer graphics, which led me to Los Angeles and a career starting into computer animation for film and television. Some of you may remember The Last Starfighter and Flight of the Navigators. We worked on a really cool group doing this stuff. Internationally in collaboration, and then I moved into interactive CD-ROMs.
At the end of the day, we heard closing remarks from Unconferenz founder Burt Lum, and that explained everything. We agree that this was the best Unconferenz ever.
The whole Unconferenz and this event that we put on is really a testament to all the volunteers, and it's a very grassroots thing. And I'm always amazed at the people that just come together and get it done. And what I would like to re-emphasize is the fact that the Unconferenz is not just an event that takes place on March 5th. This is something that I hope you have taken away, a connection that you've made with your fellow peer, friend, acquaintance, and do something with it. Take a project and take it to another level. And we want to encourage sort of like this environment for collaboration and then be a catalyst for stuff to happen in Hawaii, because I think there's too much opportunity to just stagnate, and I think this is an opportunity to move it to another level. Well, really what made it bigger and better than previous Unconferences was the fact that we had a whole cadre of new volunteers that participated. And what was interesting is that we actually leveraged technology in this Unconferenz more than we did in previous Unconferences. So I think if you notice the website, some of the things that are linked to the website, some of the documents that we reference, the technology was better utilized in this Unconferenz than before. So I think we will just continue to do that and grow into 2017 and beyond. In 2017, it'll be a whole new picture. There might be some new people, but we will try to take advantage of what we built here, grow with that, and then look at what spontaneously comes into the picture to make it a whole new experience. There's a lot of work that goes on to prep an Unconferenz to make sure that you have the right people, you have the right, logistics, you have the food, you have, all the equipment. So everything up until now is all the thought process that goes into, laying the groundwork. And then when it's actually done, the day that it starts, you almost have to just leave it to take its own course.
A lot of it is, it's been pent up in my head for so long, and I just really wanted to make sure that within the 5, I respected the structure of the presentation, but got everything out that I wanted to say. So that I mean, so of course, there's always room for improvement. Maybe next time I'll do a better job at it.
So that means you'll do it next time.
I mean, I would love to. The only way that I can get better at and feeling more comfortable speaking is by doing more of it.
Ryan Louie, I'm a psychiatry resident, and I just heard about it from Burt Lum. I saw it from on Twitter. Really great thanks to the Honolulu City and Mayor Caldwell. Just really great event here. Just really inspiring talks.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
What sessions did you sit in on?
I saw the whole Ignite presentations. I thought it was really inspiring.
Yeah.
Ideas coming straight up, and the best part is like right now, like a lot of people coming together to give great ideas together.
Yeah.
We want to improve access for citizens to public technology, and from a perspective of the citizens first, where I think a lot of the times the state and those in government and those in IT and government, their real focus, and at least their customer focus, is their employees, which is fine because they need to make sure that the state runs smoothly. But at the end of the day, the citizens are the primary customer in my mind.
What a great program, going stronger and stronger, better and bigger after all these years. Want to know more about Unconference, its past, present, and future? Check out unconference.com.
And now, let's take a look at our ThinkTech calendar of events going forward.
ThinkTech broadcasts its talk shows live on the internet from noon to 5 p.m. on weekday afternoons. And then we broadcast our earlier shows all night long. And some people listen to them all night long. If you missed a show or you want to replay or share any of our shows, they're all archived on demand on thinktechhawaii.com and YouTube. For our audio stream, go to thinktechhawaii.com/radio.
Visit thinktechhawaii.com for our weekly calendar and our live stream and YouTube links, or better yet, sign on to our email list and get the daily docket of our upcoming shows.
ThinkTech has a high-tech video studio at Pioneer Plaza. We invite you to come down, see our studio, and be part of our live audience. Contact Jay at thinktechhawaii.com. Be a part of our civic engagement and raise your awareness on ThinkTech.
Go ahead, give us a thumbs up on YouTube or send us a tweet at ThinkTechHI. We want to know what you're thinking and how you feel about current issues and events affecting Hawaii. We want you to stay in touch with us, and we want to stay in touch with you. Let's think together.
On May 19th, ThinkTech, in conjunction with Bob Toyofuku and Hawaii Advocates, will present a Downtown Forum luncheon panel program to look back on the bills, chills, thrills, and spills of the 2016 legislative session. We're calling it Legislative Look Back 2016.
Join us and raise your awareness about the critical changes affecting and taking place in Hawaii. Be a part of the conversation and sign up to attend on thinktechhawaii.com.
Want to speak out about a community issue or event? ThinkTech invites you to come down to our studio and make a video at our Speakers Corner. If you'd like to express yourself, contact Jay at thinktechhawaii.com.
We'll be right back to wrap up this week's edition of ThinkTech. But first, we want to thank our underwriters.
Okay, Anu, that wraps up this week's edition of ThinkTech. Remember, you can watch ThinkTech on OC16 several times every week. Can't get enough of it, just like Anu does. For additional times, check out oc16.tv.
For lots more ThinkTech videos, and for underwriting and sponsorship opportunities on ThinkTech on OC16, visit thinktechhawaii.com. Be a guest or a volunteer, a producer or an intern, and help us reach and have an impact on Hawaii.
Thanks so much for being part of our ThinkTech family and for supporting our open discussion of tech, energy, diversification, and globalism in Hawaii. You can watch this show throughout the week and tune in next Sunday evening for our next important weekly episode. I'm Elise Anderson.
And I'm Anu Hittle. Aloha, everyone.
Out, out.